Did you know that nearly 90% of our daily decisions are influenced by our emotions? That means a vast majority of the time, we're reacting rather than thinking. Imagine the chaos if you let every emotion dictate your actions. The good news? You can change this. In fact, research shows that people who control their emotional reactions are not only less stressed, but also more successful in both their personal and professional lives. A study published in Emotion found that emotional regulation can reduce stress levels by up to 44%. That's a huge difference. But how do you harness this power? It starts with learning the art of not reacting. Instead of letting your emotions control you, you can take charge and choose how you respond. In this video, we'll explore 12 powerful habits that will help you master this skill. From discovering how to pause before reacting to using mindfulness to manage your triggers, these strategies will empower you to respond rather than react. You'll also learn how to turn negative energy into positive action and build a daily routine that keeps your emotions in check. Ready to unlock the power of not reacting? Dive in and let's transform how you handle your emotions, one habit at a time. Chapter 1. The Silent Mastery. Embracing the power of pause. Learning to pause before reacting is like discovering a hidden superpower. Imagine how different your life could be if you didn't immediately respond to every emotional trigger. Studies show that it takes just 6 seconds for emotions to subside when you resist the urge to react. 6 seconds! That's not long, but it can make all the difference. Viktor Frankl, a renowned psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, once said, "Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response." That space is where growth happens. When you feel an emotional surge, take a deep breath and count to 6. This small pause allows your rational brain to catch up with your emotional brain. It's like hitting the reset button. A 2016 study published in the journal Emotion found that people who practiced pausing before reacting reported lower stress levels and better emotional health. By simply delaying your response, you give yourself the power to choose how you want to react. It's a game changer. To make this habit stick, start small. Next time you feel angry or frustrated, resist the urge to lash out. Instead, count to 6 and breathe deeply. Notice how this changes the situation. Over time, this practice can become second nature. The more you practice, the more control you'll have over your emotions. Chapter 2. Mindful Detachment. Letting go of emotional triggers. We all have triggers, those little things that set us off. But what if you could stop them from controlling you? Mindful detachment is about observing your emotions without letting them take over. It's like watching a storm pass by instead of getting caught in it. Research from Harvard University shows that mindfulness practices can reduce emotional reactivity by 44%. That's huge. By learning to detach from your emotions, you're not suppressing them, but rather acknowledging them without letting them dictate your actions. This skill is invaluable in maintaining emotional control. Start by identifying your triggers. What consistently makes you angry or upset? Once you know your triggers, the next step is to detach. When you feel triggered instead of reacting, take a step back and observe your feelings. Remind yourself that you don't have to act on them. It's like being a referee in your own mind. Watch the game, but don't get involved. A powerful technique is to label your emotions. Say to yourself, "I'm feeling angry right now." This simple act of labeling can help create distance between you and your emotion. A study from UCLA found that labeling emotions reduces the intensity of the feeling, making it easier to manage. Chapter 3. The Zen of Non-Judgment. Releasing the need to react. We often judge our emotions as good or bad, but what if we didn't? What if we just let them be? Non-judgment is a core principle in many mindfulness practices. It's about accepting your emotions without labeling them as right or wrong. This acceptance can free you from the need to react. The Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh teaches, "When you are calm, everything becomes clear." By not judging your emotions, you can stay calm and see the situation more clearly. This clarity helps you make better decisions and keeps you from reacting impulsively. To practice non-judgment, start by observing your thoughts without attaching any labels. When a thought pops up, don't judge it. Just notice it and let it pass. It's like watching clouds float by in the sky. They're there, but you don't have to hold on to them. Another strategy is to focus on the present moment. Often our judgments come from past experiences or future worries. By staying present, you reduce the need to judge and react. A 2015 study in the journal Psychological Science found that mindfulness meditation, which includes non-judgment, can decrease emotional reactivity and increase emotional stability. Chapter 4. Inner Alchemy. Transforming reactive energy into creative power. What if you could take the energy from your emotions and use it for something positive? That's the idea behind inner alchemy, transforming reactive energy into creative power. Instead of letting emotions control you, you can harness that energy to fuel creativity and growth. Consider this: when you're angry or frustrated, your body is full of energy. Instead of letting that energy lead to an outburst, channel it into something productive. Exercise, write, create art, or tackle a challenging project. This not only helps you manage your emotions, but also turns a potentially negative situation into a positive one. A study from Stanford University found that people who redirected their emotional energy into creative tasks were more resilient and less likely to experience burnout. By turning reactivity into creativity, you're not just avoiding a reaction, you're actively improving your well-being. To practice inner alchemy, start by recognizing when you're feeling emotionally charged. Then, consciously decide to channel that energy into something creative. It doesn't have to be a big project. Small creative acts like doodling or journaling can make a big difference. Loving the content? Subscribe now and let's get back to the action. Chapter 5. Emotional Judo. Redirecting negative emotions with grace. Emotional judo is all about using the energy of your emotions to your advantage, just like in the martial art where you use an opponent's force against them. Instead of fighting your emotions, why not redirect them? It's a skill that can transform how you handle stress, anger, or frustration. Consider this: when you're upset, your emotions are like a wave, strong and powerful. Instead of resisting that wave, what if you could ride it? According to psychologist Daniel Goleman, author of Emotional Intelligence, redirecting emotions is one of the key components of emotional intelligence. He explains that by understanding your emotions, you can guide them toward constructive outcomes. One effective way to practice emotional judo is to channel your negative emotions into problem solving. For example, if you're angry about something at work, use that energy to brainstorm solutions rather than stewing in frustration. This not only helps you manage your emotions, but also turns a negative situation into an opportunity for growth. Another technique is to use physical activity to redirect emotional energy. A brisk walk, a quick workout, or even some deep cleaning can help release pent-up emotions. Research from the University of Georgia shows that moderate exercise can reduce stress by 20% and improve mood significantly. Remember, the goal of emotional judo isn't to ignore your emotions, but to redirect them in a way that serves you. By practicing this, you'll find that you can navigate emotional waves with much more grace. Chapter 6. The Observer's Mindset. Watching without engaging. The observer's mindset is a powerful strategy for emotional control. It's about learning to watch your thoughts and feelings without getting caught up in them. Imagine being a spectator in your own mind, watching events unfold without feeling the need to jump into the fray. Eckhart Tolle, in his book The Power of Now, talks about the importance of being the observer of your thoughts rather than identifying with them. He explains that by observing your emotions, you can prevent them from taking control. This mindset creates a space between you and your emotions, allowing you to respond rather than react. To cultivate the observer's mindset, start by practicing mindfulness. When you feel an emotion rising, take a moment to step back mentally and observe it. Notice the physical sensations in your body and the thoughts in your mind. But instead of engaging, just watch. It's like watching a movie. You see what's happening, but you're not part of it. A study from the University of Toronto found that mindfulness practices like this can reduce emotional reactivity by 42%. By regularly observing your emotions without engaging, you'll find that you're better able to manage them and keep your cool in stressful situations. The more you practice being an observer, the easier it becomes to stay calm and collected, even when emotions run high. It's a simple yet powerful tool for emotional control. Chapter 7. Breathe before you break. The calming power of conscious breathing. Breathing is something we all do, but how often do we use it as a tool for emotional control? Conscious breathing is a simple yet incredibly effective strategy for calming your mind and body when emotions start to take over. Deep breathing triggers your body's relaxation response, which can lower heart rate, reduce stress, and promote a sense of calm. A study published in the Journal of Neuroscience found that slow, deep breathing can activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for calming the body after stress. The beauty of this technique is that it's always available. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, simply take a deep breath in, hold it for a moment, and then slowly exhale. Repeat this a few times and you'll notice your mind starting to clear and your body relaxing. In his book, Breath, The New Science of a Lost Art, James Nestor explains that even something as simple as breathing through your nose instead of your mouth can have profound effects on your mental state. Nose breathing helps filter the air and can even improve focus and concentration, helping you stay calm and collected. Make conscious breathing a habit. Practice it during calm moments so that it becomes your go-to strategy in stressful situations. Whether you're stuck in traffic or facing a tough conversation, a few deep breaths can make all the difference. Chapter 8. Cultivating Emotional Intelligence. Responding, not reacting. Emotional intelligence, EQ, is the ability to recognize, understand, and manage your own emotions and those of others. It's what allows you to respond thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. According to Daniel Goleman, emotional intelligence is more important than IQ when it comes to success in life. One key aspect of emotional intelligence is self-awareness, knowing what you're feeling and why. By being aware of your emotions, you can choose how to respond rather than being at the mercy of your reactions. A study by TalentSmart found that 90% of top performers have high emotional intelligence, highlighting the importance of this skill. To cultivate emotional intelligence, start by regularly checking in with yourself. Ask, what am I feeling right now, and why am I feeling this way? This self-awareness helps you understand your emotions and the triggers behind them. Another important aspect of EQ is empathy, understanding the emotions of others. When you're in a heated situation, try to see things from the other person's perspective. This not only helps you manage your own emotions, but also improves your relationships. Practicing emotional intelligence involves staying calm under pressure and choosing responses that align with your values. Remember, reacting is instinctual, but responding is intentional. The more you practice, the better you'll get at it. Chapter 9. The Art of Emotional Minimalism. Simplifying your inner world. Emotional minimalism is about decluttering your inner world, just as you would declutter a messy room. It's the practice of reducing emotional baggage, letting go of what no longer serves you, and focusing on what truly matters. By simplifying your emotions, you can create a more peaceful and balanced mind. Marie Kondo, famous for her tidying method, once said, "The question of what you want to own is actually the question of how you want to live your life." The same goes for emotions. Ask yourself, which emotions do I want to hold on to and which ones can I let go? This simple question can help you clear out unnecessary emotional clutter. Start by identifying the emotions that take up too much space in your mind. Are there recurring feelings of guilt, resentment, or anger? Once you've identified them, ask yourself if they're serving you or if they're just adding noise to your life. If they're not serving you, it's time to let them go. A study from the University of Southern California found that people who practiced emotional minimalism, letting go of unnecessary negative emotions, reported higher levels of happiness and satisfaction. It's like cleaning out a closet. Once the clutter is gone, there's more room for the things that bring you joy. To practice emotional minimalism, try journaling. Write down the emotions you're holding on to, then reflect on whether they're helping or hurting you. Over time, you'll notice that your mind feels lighter and you're more focused on the emotions that truly matter. Chapter 10. Anchoring in Values. staying true to yourself under pressure. Anchoring yourself in your core values is like having a compass that guides you through life's storms. When emotions run high, your values can keep you grounded and help you make decisions that align with who you are. It's about knowing what matters most to you and letting that guide your actions. In his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey emphasizes the importance of living by principles and values. He explains that when you're clear about your values, you're less likely to be swayed by external pressures or emotional turbulence. To anchor yourself in your values, first, identify what they are. What are the non-negotiable principles that guide your life? Whether it's honesty, kindness, or integrity, knowing your values is the first step to living by them. Once you've identified your values, use them as a filter for your decisions. When faced with a tough situation, ask yourself, which action aligns with my values? This approach not only helps you make better decisions, but also reduces emotional stress by providing clarity and direction. A study published in Psychological Science found that people who regularly reflected on their core values experienced less stress and were more resilient in the face of challenges. By anchoring yourself in your values, you're not just managing your emotions, you're building a life that reflects who you truly are. Chapter 11. Echo of Silence. The strength in saying nothing. In a world that often values quick responses, there's incredible power in silence. Sometimes the most impactful response is no response at all. The practice of holding your tongue can save relationships, prevent unnecessary conflicts, and give you time to think clearly. There's an old saying, silence is golden. It turns out there's truth to that. In moments of high emotion, saying nothing can be a powerful way to maintain control. It allows you to pause, reflect, and respond thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. Research published in the journal Communication Research found that strategic silence in conversations can lead to better outcomes, especially in emotionally charged situations. By choosing silence, you give yourself the space to calm down and assess the situation more objectively. One way to practice this is the 24-hour rule. When you're upset or angry, give yourself 24 hours before responding. This time allows emotions to settle and gives you the perspective needed to respond wisely. More often than not, you'll find that your initial reaction wasn't the best one. Another strategy is to practice active listening during tense conversations. Instead of jumping in with your thoughts, focus on listening fully to the other person. This not only diffuses tension, but also shows respect and empathy, which can turn a potential conflict into a constructive dialogue. Chapter 12. Building an Emotional Fortress. Daily Habits for Inner Peace. Building an emotional fortress means creating daily habits that protect your inner peace. It's about establishing routines that keep you grounded, calm, and resilient no matter what life throws at you. Just like a fortress protects a city, these habits protect your emotional well-being. One of the most effective habits is starting your day with mindfulness or meditation. Research from Harvard Medical School shows that just 10 minutes of daily meditation can reduce stress, increase emotional stability, and improve overall mental health. It's like putting on emotional armor before facing the day. Another powerful habit is practicing gratitude. By focusing on what you're thankful for, you shift your mindset from what's wrong to what's right. A study from the University of California, Davis, found that people who kept a daily gratitude journal had lower levels of stress and depression and were more optimistic about the future. Physical exercise is also crucial for emotional resilience. Regular activity releases endorphins, the body's natural mood lifters. According to the Mayo Clinic, exercise can boost your mood and help you manage stress more effectively. Even a short daily walk can make a big difference. Lastly, make time for self-care and rest. In our busy lives, it's easy to overlook the importance of downtime, but rest is essential for emotional health. A lack of sleep or relaxation can make you more prone to emotional reactions. Prioritize sleep, relaxation, and activities that recharge you. By building these habits into your daily routine, you're not just managing emotions as they arise. You're proactively creating a foundation of inner peace that can withstand the challenges of life. Don't forget to subscribe for more amazing content and exclusive updates.